ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 मंत्र 7 नान्तः प्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं न उभयतः प्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यम् अग्राह्यमलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारं प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवम् अद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः. And page 51, the fourth line. नान्तः प्रज्ञम् इति तैजस प्रतिषेधः न बहिष्प्रज्ञम् इति विश्व प्रतिषेधः न उभयतः प्रज्ञम् इति जाग्रत् स्वप्नयोः अंतराल अवस्था प्रतिषेधः न प्रज्ञानघनम् इति सुषुप्तौ अवस्था प्रतिषेधः सुषुप्तावस्था प्रतिषेधः बीज भाव अविवेक रूपत्वात् न प्रज्ञम् इति युगपत् सर्वविषय प्रज्ञातृत्व प्रतिषेधः न प्रज्ञम् इति अचैतन्य प्रतिषेधः. So these are the descriptions. So meaning, Bhashyakara gives the meaning of the words of the mantra. And it's this particular mantra gives us a knowledge. And in the third line, Bhashyakara says, how does this mantra gives you the knowledge of the self? Pratisheda tasmat pratisheda vijnana pramana vyapara samakala, etc. Pratisheda vijnana pramana. Pramana here, the knowledge, the means of knowledge, which is this mantra number 7, gives you a knowledge through pratisheda, through nisheda. And we discussed why nisheda alone is here in order to give you the knowledge, because you already have conclusions about yourself. Being self-conscious, and if you are conscious of yourself, you are going to judge yourself. And if you don't know the self as it is, then your judgment about yourself will be the self-errors. And those errors have to be eliminated. After eliminating error, well, then Atma has to be revealed by the different words, other words. Well, that's no need, because it's self-revealing. In fact, everything is revealed to the self automatically. The fact that this self-conscious being says, well, space is, time is, means they are all revealed to you. You are not revealed to time. You are not revealed to space. Space is revealed to you, time is revealed to you, and any object in the creation is revealed to you. In fact, they are all objectified naturally because you are consciousness. And therefore, basically, you need not have to do anything. That's how one need not have to catch Atma through the thought form. You cannot catch even, because it's the very content of the thought. So if it is a content of the thought cannot catch the Atma. And the thought cannot reject Atma also. Because being content, like the wave, basically cannot catch the water. Wave cannot reject water, because it's a content. Any thought arises and subsides, forms and or appears and disappears in Atma. Everything appear, disappear in Atma, but we are talking about thought. And therefore, basically, this Pratisheda Vijnana is sufficient. If you drop what you are not, then what is self-revealing. And therefore, Pratisheda Vijnana Pramana. Pramana is this, just Pratisheda Vijnana, Neti Neti, etc. And that's what it is, Nanta Prajnam, na Baish Prajnam, na Ubhayata Prajnam, na Prajnam, etc. So that is, one has to claim basically this, the Turiya which is revealed here. The Turiya means the Atma, which is revealed here through Pratisheda Vijnana as oneself. So, and otherwise also there is no, there is no other than knowing oneself as Turiya, as Brahman. There is no other way of knowing Turiya. There is no way of knowing. So this is a unique nature of this Pratisheda Vijnana Pramana. And Bhashyakara established in an elaborate introductory portion which we already saw. And so now he gives the meaning, Nanta Prajnam, etc. Nanta Prajnam, that all we saw, so I am just referring. Nanta Prajnam means, well, is negating the Taijasa. So, na Baish Prajnam negates the Vishwa, na Ubhayata Prajnam negates the intermediary states between Jagrat and Swapna, between Swapna and Sushupti, or Sushupti and Jagrat. There are several intermediary states. And any intermediate state is called Antaralavastha. So, Antaralavastha Pratishedaha. Na Ubhayata Prajnam iti, Bhashyakara says, na Antaralavastha Pratishedaha. And then na Prajnana Ghanam. So these two are negated, and intervals also are negated, and then intermediary states are negated. And now Bhashyakara points out, gives the meaning of Prajnana Ganam. So Prajnanam actually means, generally, is a consciousness. Prajnana Ganam means it is a mass of consciousness. So it looks like Prajnana Ganam means a Chaitanya. It's one without second. And therefore, what you experience, the very experiencer, and the object of experience is just one thing. And therefore, there is nothing called a whole in that whole, right? All is just one whole. Experiencer, all divisions you create, that is the mind. There is no division at all. Bhashyakara says very beautifully in Kathopanishad, this Dvaitam is nowhere outside. Duality is not outside. Duality is here in this mind, basically. You are different, I am different. That is the thing. That's it. That kind of an error here is a Dvaitam. Nowhere there is a Dvaitam. Because nothing can be away from consciousness. And therefore, nothing can be away from the consciousness. And therefore, basically, it is a one whole consciousness. No division. Because anything in the creation, starting from your body, starting from your emotion, maybe a memory, maybe your doubt, maybe anything else, maybe your decisions, or your hunger, your thirst, your senses, or any external world, anything, any damn thing, if you can prove that it is away from consciousness, or it is without consciousness, or it is just besides consciousness. There is a boundary of a consciousness and a body, a boundary of a consciousness and sense organs, boundary of a consciousness and hunger, thirst, boundary of a consciousness in your memory. If you can prove it, wonderful. Vedanta is useless. If you can prove without consciousness, besides consciousness, beyond consciousness, if you can prove, cannot. All is basically proven, existent, revealed in this consciousness. Consciousness is one without second. They are mithya, basically. They can't have any independent existence. So, that's how it's a one whole consciousness. But that's not the meaning. If that is the meaning, na prajnanaganam mantra would not say, na prajnanaganam. It's not mass of consciousness. And therefore, here it is a different meaning. So, here it says prajnanam means a vritti jnanam. Vishesh jnanam, you can say. A specific knowledge about the objects which are there in the waking state and in a dream state. So, and Ganam indicates basically all this, that Vishesha Jnanam, varieties of the knowledges in the waking state and dream state, they have become Ganam. They have become they have been lumped together in an undifferentiated form. They are all jumbled together in an undifferentiated form. It's called Prajnanaganam. And that happens where? In which state? Sushupti. And therefore, here, Prajnanaganam indicates a Sushupti avastha. Sushupta sthana. Ghana prajnaha. So, Bahish prajnaha, Anta prajnaha, Prajnana ganaha or Ghana prajnaha is a Sushupta, the deep sleeper. So, na prajnana ganam, well, it is not even a deep sleeper. So, thank God that, in a deep sleep state also you are awake. The I slept, when you say that I is awake, I has not gone to sleep. Otherwise, you will not say I slept. So, I was very much awake. And that is, that's a consciousness. Deep sleeper, well, basically, it has all gone into a differentiated state and manifest state. So, and Bhashyakara explains further, Bij Bhava Aviveka Rupatvat. So, this deep sleep state is in the form of a Bij Bhava. Bhava means a condition. It's in the seed condition, right? That's how we call Karana. That's how it's called Karanavastha, you say, when the consciousness along with the upadhi of a Karana Sharira, you can say. All is one and the same thing. It's a seed. So, seed condition, Bija Bhava. But seed condition for what? What will manifest as a tree? Say, Jagrat Avastha, Sushupta and Sapna Avastha. They will manifest from that only, that will resolve on there. So, Jagrat Sapna Yoho, Bij Bhava. Okay. And Bhashyakara further says, Aviveka Rupatvat. Aviveka, because the distinction between different types of knowledge which exist in Jagrat and Sapna Avastha. Alright, we have a knowledge of chemistry, knowledge of this and knowledge of that. In Jagrat Avastha, knowledge of a Swami, knowledge of a person, knowledge of a computer, several. And same thing even a dream state also, you have varieties of knowledge. All these differentiated forms of knowledge basically have been merged. I mean, they are all they are not distinctly available. Aviveka Rupatvat here means they are not distinctly available. So, as a Vishesha Jnanam, they are not available. So, Bij Bhava Aviveka Rupatvat. And so, that is how when everything becomes one, then that's a state of a non-duality. Anyway, that's what we always say, that there is a joy only in a non-duality. Whoever is, even a person who is not studying Vedanta, we need not bother also. If he is not interested also, no. But his pursuit is a non-duality. Anybody's pursuit, any human being have a pursuit. Where there is a free will, there is a pursuit. Where there is no free will, there is no pursuit at all. So you set your goals because you have a free will. That's how free will is called a purushartha. What you perceive, what you have as a pursuit also is called purushartha. And those pursuits are possible because of the free will. That's free will also called is purushartha versus fate, that is prarabdha. Anyway, point is, all these pursuits are there. All pursuits, material pursuits or any pursuit, or a spiritual pursuit. Human heart is seeking non-duality. Why? Material pursuit of, yes. Material pursuits are pursuits of, any pursuit of happiness is a pursuit of non-duality. Yes, yes. That is true. So long as there is a separation between a desirer and an object of desire, even for a materialistic person, so far there is a separation between a desirer and object of desire, there is a heartburn, no joy. When desirer and object of desire, the subject and the object, right, fuses into one non-dual experience of joy. Right? It's a non-dual experience. There is no separation between a desirer and object of desire. Desirer is dropped basically, and the object of desire is no more object of desire. So it's not that the subject becomes object or object becomes subject, but subject object basically fuses as though in a experience, and that experience is of that fusion is called non-dual. Anyway, so therefore there is only pursuit of a non-duality, whether you pursue Vedanta or not. And so one you gains. So non-dual experiences everyone has actually. This wholeness can arise only when subject-object fuses. There are only two things. Whole means what? Subject-object. And therefore, basically, those experiences are there for the materialistic people. Those experiences are naturally available as a deep sleep state, right? And in a waking state, when you get your object of desire, which you have, which what is desirable to you, gain it, or whether you gain it or not, moment of joy arises. It's a wrong sermon to say that whenever I fulfill a desire, I will be happy. That's a wrong sermon. Actually, that's not correct. And second sermon also is not correct. If I could not fulfill my desires, if desires are unfulfilled, I will be unhappy also. That's also wrong. Because at any time, no one can fulfill all desires. So many we have. And therefore, there will not be any experience of a non-duality, non-experience of a happiness. But we do find ourselves happy by somebody cracks a joke, you meet some person, all your desires are still pending, not fulfilled, yet you find moments of joy. Therefore, unfulfilled desires means always unhappy. That's not correct. And fulfilled desires means always happy. That's also not correct. You fulfill a desire and later you repent also that I should not have desired this thing. Person gets a very good job. He desired and he wanted to go in a particular company and he was applying, he was not getting call. Now he got a call, he was absorbed. And now he is working there and I meet a person and ask, now are you happy? He said, so. I thought it was like that. I should not have gone in. I should not have resigned from work. It's not better than where I was. Person can say. Or you desire something and you gain it and afterwards you feel that I should not have. This is actually a liability. Sometimes becomes a liability. So therefore, these things are wrong. Desire and happiness has no connection. The connection between the joy and non-duality is there. Because in joy there is a wholeness. And wholeness is when you drop that you are small. I'm small, if you drop, then you are whole. And if you are able to drop, I'm small, well, then you may not be small. If you are really small, you cannot drop it. And therefore, ultimately, look at that. So therefore, basically, the pursuit of joy in which you have an experience of a non-duality, either a deep sleep state or in a waking state, and we are not interested in that. Because those moments have come and gone, and every day we are going into, entering into a experience of a non-duality called deep sleep state. We don't wake up as a wise person that, oh, I am a non-dual consciousness, a limitless consciousness, a whole, etc. No. So, therefore, non-dual state experience we are not interested in. Any non-dual state is really non-dual actually. Any non-dual, and only thing is in that when you drop that you are small, automatically duality is also drop, right? When you take yourself as a individual, then definitely world is different from you. So that duality will arises in your mind. And I am small also arises due to ignorance, and therefore definitely it is born of a ignorance only. So definitely in any non-dual experience, the experience, I mean the duality is absent in experience. Duality is absent, but in your mind that conclusion, I am a small, insignificant being, and the world which is too big is different from me. That has not gone. So as you come out of the experience of a non-duality joy, you again pick up this smallness, etc., and then struggle. And then that's what Puja Swami used to always say, that since you have an experience of happiness, which is your height, you see yourself as a whole being, full being, and therefore you always strive to gain that fullness. So you always seek, basically, the moments of joy, experience of joy again and again, because that is your height. You want to reach again and again. You cannot settle for anything less than that. So my point is, Vedantin is not interested in non-dual experiences we do have. No, and therefore even not we are interested in samadhi also. That also give you a non-dual experience, subject object. Nirvikalpaka means subject object. The duality resolves as ahankara resolves. Here in deep sleep state also it is resolves. In samadhi you deliberately resolve it. Being awake, you resolve it. Means this ahankara is bare minimum, because you have removed all this thought, and therefore the subject also, the ahankara also, well, basically is subdued totally. So you will have a experience of a non-duality. So but like in a deep sleep state, as the person comes out of a samadhi, well, same issues, same sense of insignificance, etc., will be there. So therefore we are not interested in that non-dual experiences. We are interested in a non-dual truth. And if it is a non-dual truth, it cannot be negated, and then it should be available in all the states. Not only in deep sleep state, it should be available in a waking state, and it should be available in a dream state, being a truth. And of course, we are interested in that non-dual truth, not non-dual experiences, and which is available in all the state. But you can know this non-dual truth. Non-dual truth means you are the whole. That's it. You cannot say that is non-dual. If that is non-dual and still you say I, who is different from that, is away from that non-dual, then non-dual truth is not non-dual. Therefore, it covers you. It is you. You cannot be part of the non-dual. You cannot be part of the whole. Nobody can be part of the whole. Anything which is a part of a given thing, that thing has a parts. That is not whole. The thing which has parts, well, definitely also fall apart, and all that we discussed. So point is, a part cannot be, you cannot be a part of the whole also. Means at a given time, those parts have been put together, and parts put together also will be limited in space and all. So it is not a whole. Therefore, only possibility is that non-dual truth is you. You are whole. Non-dual means whole. You are whole. And that's what you experience in a deep sleep state. That's what you experience in a moment of joy. That's what you experience in a samadhi also. And so one should know that I am a non-dual truth in waking state. Because in a waking state, to know all this, there is a pramana. The teaching is available, and the mind also is available naturally. And therefore you can know this non-dual truth in a waking state, even though it is available in all the states. So therefore, Um, uh, this is how in waking state we get this knowledge. Okay, further. न प्रज्ञान घनम इति सुषुप्तावस्था प्रतिषेधः बीज भाव अविवेक रूपत्वाद न प्रज्ञमिति युगपत् सर्व विषय प्रज्ञातुत्र प्रतिषेधः न अप्रज्ञमिति अचैतन्य प्रतिषेधः. So न प्रज्ञम. So what prajna means here, now prajna here, anta prajna, bahish prajna, ghana prajna are negated, right? Now na prajna. So here prajna means a simultaneous knower of everything. Like what? Like Virat, like Hiranyagarbha, like Ishvara. They are also knowers. Therefore they are prajna. Sarvajna means. So Yugapat Sarva Vishaya Prajnatrutva. Yugapat means simultaneous. Sarva Vishaya, everything. Prajnatrutva means knowerhood. Knowerhood of everything simultaneously. Sarvajnatva. So that's called prajna. Na prajnam, that is also negated. Means the Atma is something which is neither a knower neither a small knower, neither a all knower, basically. Na Ishvara. Means Turiya is not a knower at all. And suppose, no Swamiji, you know what you say is not correct. Why? Because Drukdrishya Viveka says, Druk means the knower and Drishya means what is known. So, I am a knower and everything else is known. And now you say you are not even a knower. Small knower, you are not a small knower, you are not an all knower. Therefore, you are not a knower at all. You are what? You are just consciousness. But then Drukdrishya Viveka says you are knower. So what is the difference? Yes, if you want to retain the word knower, you can. You can retain. But you put one adjective. What? Which is non-changing, unchanging knower. That's it. Unchanging knower. There are two knowers here. The changing knower and unchanging knower. Behind the changing knower, there is an unchanging knower. Yeah. Changing knower is the mind. What changes is the mind, naturally. Therefore, same Atma with the upadhi of a mind is a changing knower. Atma as such is an unchanging knower, we call witness. Any witness should be non-changing. Otherwise, it cannot be called witness. And therefore, basically, Atma is called witness with respect to this changing knower. Therefore, it is unchanging knower, and you are that, you know very well. Behind changing knowers called waker, dreamer, right? They come and go. Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, there is a unchanging knower. Or you can say even a witness consciousness. That's called sakshi. Sakshat ikshate. So basically, anyway, so here, na prajnaha, if you want to retain word knower, you can. Only thing is you should be clear about that. And but why there is a mind is a changing knower? That is what the ahankara is. Ahankara has to own up. Any activity happening here has to be owned up. There should be one the agent who does all this. And therefore, ahankara is there to claim. So anything, any vritti happens even in the mind, like emotion. Well, I am a emoter. Perception, I am a perceiver. Memory, so I am the one who is recollecting. I am the one who is doubting. I am the one who is decider. And any other thing, seer, etc. You can go further. Any even actions also happening at the level of organs of action, that also. So basically, I am a runner. I am a speaker. Look. So any activities happening here, even happening at the level of prana also, I am hungry, etc. And therefore it is changing. It has to change because activities keep changing. Activities of the perceptions, activities of at the level of organs of action, activity at the level of prana, activity at the level of mind, keep changing. And therefore that I also keep changing because that's so he is owner, claims ownership. So I am a seer, I am a hearer, I am a runner, walker, eater, etc., speaker. So that's just mind. That's what manah, buddhi, chitta, ahankaram. That ahankara is also faculty of mind only. Whose object, aham vritti, whose object is the entire mind. Yeah. Every vritti has object And this aham vritti as object is the entire mind. Means aham arises covering the entire mind. So whatever happens in the mind ultimately is owned up by that ahankara. So that is a changing knower. Behind the changing knower there is basically a knowledge, right? There cannot be knower without knowledge. Knowledge is the very essence, consciousness. And therefore basically that I am that consciousness which is a witness of this even changing knower. I am unchanging. I am invariably present in all ahankaras. Maybe a seer, I pervade the seer. In and through, all over the seer, I am there. Seer, I am the content of the very seer. I am the content of the hearer. I am content of the walker, talker, etc. They cannot exist apart from me. They cannot be without me. I am the very truth of them, content of them, and the very self of them. Remaining unchanging, I pervade everything. So I am immanent as well as transcending everything. So therefore, here you can keep. So na prajnam means I am not a knower, not a small knower, not a big knower, all knower, etc. Just pure consciousness. Yugapat sarva vishaya prajnatrutva sarvajnatva pratishedah na prajnam. And then na aprajnam. So na aprajnam. So aprajnam means what? Inert, insentient. So when you said, well, means there is what happens is when you say you are not a knower at all. You are not a small knower, you are not an all knower, means you are not a knower at all. If you are not a knower, means you are not a sentient being. Knower is a sentient being. Now if you say na prajnam, means you are not a knower at all, means you are not a sentient being. So immediately Shastra says na aprajnam. Don't think that you are not a don't think that you are a insentient being. So you are not knower of one thing, nor the knower of anything, etc. Doesn't mean that you are insentient. You are simply pure consciousness. So aprajnam means jadam. Na aprajnam. So you are not even insentient. You are just pure consciousness. There is knowerhood, etc. arises because of the consciousness, knowledge. Further, we have done all this, so I am just referring because we are doing after a long time. Katham punaha antapragnyatvadinam atmani gamyamananam rajvadau sarpadivat pratishedhat asatvam gamyate iti uchyate. Gnyaswarupa avisheshe api itaretara vibhicharat asatyatvam rajvadau iva sarpadharadi vikalpa bedavat sarvatra abhyavicharat gnyaswarupasya satyatvam. So, by this using this expression of nanta prajnam, Upanishad definitely negates this na anta prajnam, na bahish prajnam, etc. Upanishad negates this waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. And negating means what? Revealing that they are not there. That's called negation. This is not there. So when you negate something, means it is not there. And so when I negate, there is that the snake, there is no snake on the rope, right? So definitely it is not there at all. So here negation is understood by Purvapakshi as a abhava, and so he is raising a question. Katham? How can Shruti negates? Katham puna antapragnyatvadinam, etc., etc. So how can the Shruti negates this waker, dreamer, deep sleeper? Or how can Shruti negates wakerhood, let's say? Because Atmani Gamyamananam. So they Atmani, in this Turiya, in the self, they are all Gamyamananam, Anubhuyamananam. They are all experienced. Wakerhood, dreamerhood, sleeperhood, etc. How can Shruti negate that? Nanta pragnam, na bahish pragnam. How can Shruti negate that when we are experiencing them? So how can you negate something that we have experienced and we keep on experiencing? So therefore, even when it is amazing, right? Because right now in a waking state, you are gaining this knowledge. So you are right now waker and experiencing waking world, and you are experiencing the teaching, listening to the teaching, and you are experiencing the students around, you are experiencing the teacher. All this is part of the waking state. and and you say there is, well, there is no wakerhood, there is no waking world, etc. Suppose if you negate the bahish pragnam, so whereas you are not a waker, I am right now waker, and you are saying you are not a waker. What is this? So that is his understanding of this negation is bit corrected by Bhashakara. So katham punah asatvam gamyate, that is to be connected with the third line. Katham punah asatvam gamyate. How will asatyam means asatvam means here absent. Gamyate means gnayate, known. How can you know the absence of all these three when you are experiencing all the three? Not simultaneously, but sequentially. How is the absence of these three states understood? So, and by this doubt comes because Atmani Gamyamananam. We are experiencing all the three states. So I know right now itself I am a waker, etc. During dream also I enjoyed dreamerhood. And all these three status are intimately experienced by us. And therefore, this Nisheda we are not able to understand. We are not able to accept it. Atmani means in myself, in this Turiya, iti chet. If such a doubt is raised, answer is given. What is the answer? Because simple. Just simple reason is they are variable. Anything which comes and goes cannot be self-existent. Anything which is self-existent, exists on its own, will not be affected by anything else. Anything which exists on its own will not be affected by anything else. And it will not go. Anything which exists on its own cannot go, cannot become non-existent. But basically these three states, they come and go. Each state of this, the wakerhood, etc., its status is mutually exclusive. Wakerhood is absent during dream, dreamerhood is absent in waking, and the deep sleeper hood is absent in waking, etc. So all of them they are mutually exclusive, and since they are mutually exclusive, they are temporary, and therefore they are mithya. Right? They are not self-existent. If they are self-existent, they will remain. They just remain. And they prove their existence. Anything self-existent prove its own existence without anybody's support. But since they come and go, so when they come in, they are experienced as existent. At that time itself, they must be borrowing existence from something. Simple. Anything which comes and goes. So when it comes, means they are there. You are experiencing. They are there. That existence of them also must be borrowed. Why borrowed? Not self-existent. Why not self-existent? If they are self-existent, they will exist all the time. And they don't require anybody's support for their existence. That is self-existent. And if it is self-existent, it will reveal itself. They don't need to be revealed. Anything which is revealed, well, definitely is not self-existent, because they are revealed. And once they are revealed, we say they are. Space is revealed, and therefore you say space is. You cannot say space is without it is revealed to you, revealed to the consciousness. So basically, these rules go together. So anyway, so they even when they come, they are subject to arrival and departure. So when they arrive and you say they are, definitely at that time it's also they are borrowing the existence. From where? From you, sir. From you. Because in a experience, one is that object, other is you. And if the object is not self-existent, then it must be borrowing existence from you. Consciousness lends existence, and therefore it is revealed, and it is revealed also, and its existence also is proven in the consciousness itself. Therefore, it is simple. In any experience, whatever you experience, either three worlds, either three bodies, either a Karana Sharira, either a Sukshma Sharira, either a gross body, either a gross world, either a subtle world, or a causal world. We of course we infer. All this, they are objects of experience. And any object of experience is basically is just superimposed upon I. How superimposed? Because they derive existence. They have a borrowed existence from the consciousness. And therefore, without consciousness I, how will you prove the existence of either of the body, either of the world, out of the three? No, you cannot. Definitely, and therefore they are mithya. And their determination in terms of the mithyatvam is called negation. Negation is nothing but a mithyatva nishchaya. Negation does not mean it will go away from the experience. While experiencing itself, we decide that in experience there is an object and there is a subject, ultimate subject, I am saying. In that, well, who proves the existence of whom? Who proves if this proves my existence or I prove this existence of this? Between body and I, the consciousness, well, who proves the existence of whom? Whether body proves the existence of I, or I, the conscious being who is conscious of the body and reveals the body and say body is. And therefore, any object of experience, keep this a silver line, any experience in a waking state, in that there is an object. That object is merely superimposition on you, the consciousness. That's it. Nothing more than that. Therefore, in an experience, well, I and the object have a same order of reality. No, sir. No. I, the consciousness. But somebody, you are saying, putting hand here. Just take it. Not I miss this. Okay, this is also an object of experience. Anyway, so therefore, between somebody looks like I, the experiencer, and object of experience is the same order of reality. I am talking about I consciousness. Even whatever is the condition of this, well, will be the condition of the body. Body is also object of experience. This is also object of experience. In fact, body is an intimate object of experience. Very. You can write 10 sentences about that because you experience it and you can say, well, this is black and this is how and its weight is 20 grams and whatever. You can write 10 sentences about your body. My God, about your body you can write pages and pages and pages. What you know about my body, that I know. What you don't know about my body, that also I know. And therefore, it's an intimate object of experience. Anyway, and therefore, but the status will be the same. Object of experience. And object is revealed in consciousness and proven existent in consciousness, and therefore they are non-separate from consciousness. They are superimposed upon consciousness I. And therefore, this is a one way to resolve the issues with the world. One way. We have too many issues with the world. Too many complaints, right? Thinking that I and the world are different, have a same order of reality. That's called duality. That is here. World is different, I am different. That is here, not outside. It's just here. Anyway, so you can resolve the issues by saying what I am experiencing is mithya. Its existence, revelation is proven by me. And if you go further, it is much more there. And that is what Bhagavan said in Bhagavad Gita. Well, sarva bhutatma bhutatma. In fact, you only appear in these names and forms. They are all your mithya. It is mithya. No, don't say that. Go further. They are all your manifestation. Mithya manifestation of you, the consciousness. Anyway, So this that is why these states of experience is why we are negating, because they are mithya. Mithyatva nishya is that's called apavada. So the object is superimposed upon the consciousness adhyaropa, and we take it, we understand it as a mithya. That's called apavada. So adhyaropavada is there. And very beautifully, how can you say, Swamiji, without consciousness they cannot be proven existent, or they are not revealed? Because consciousness is invariable. So body consciousness, memory consciousness, senses consciousness, or sensory power consciousness, and then perception consciousness, and seer consciousness, hearer consciousness, memory, and then emotion consciousness. Look at that. Doubt consciousness, and what is there? Decision consciousness. All consciousness I is invariably present. All those things are simply forms. Various forms are there. What is superimposed is a form. That's a question all the time I is asked, as if consciousness is everything, why do you give a billion names? Just say consciousness. Somebody said in California, this name itself we have to remove. Name is an obstacle. Name is not obstacle. That is what Chandogya says. Namadev, Namamatram. Namamatram is it's arbitrary. It's a humanity has given name. There is no absolute thing in there. Right? There is no absolute thing. This is called pen. Well, instead of pen, humanity can decide to call it as a van or something. I don't know. Van, you can say. So Nama Matra itself indicates mithya, but that person had even problem with the names. Anyway, what is to be removed is that this is different from me. This is equally real from me. What you experience is equally real from me. No, sir. What is experience is simply a superimposition on you. Simply superimposition. Because without you, it cannot be proven existent, it cannot be revealed. Therefore, you pervade, basically, this is your manifestation. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma. Yourself is the self of all the beings. So don't say asti bhati. Pan asti, pan bhati. No. Asmi bhami. Basically, this is your manifestation. Anything is your manifestation. And it is vivarta, etc. You know very well. So this is how. So let them be experienced. What a big deal. Negation means mithyatva nishya. Yeah. And they are all variables. But all those variables, that's world, experiences, waking, etc., or waker, etc., variables. In all variables, what is present as a content, in and through, all over, is you. Waker is you. Dreamer is you. Deep sleeper is you. But you are Turiya. You are distinct from all the three. That's how Chaturtha. So, mithya, vacharambanam, vikaro namadhyam, we know all this. So, Gnaswarupa avisheshapi. Kashakara says, even though their essential nature of is consciousness, which is invariable, right? So, bahish prajnaha, gnaha, anta prajnaha, gnaha, ghana prajnaha, gnaha, and then aprajnaha, gnaha. So, anyway, so na prajnaha means there also gnaha. So, consciousness is invariably present in all the variables. So, no experience can leave any trace on consciousness. No experience can leave. No experience is possible without consciousness. No experience can leave any trace on consciousness. That's how your Teflon coated, what is that? Dosa tava. Okay? Your Teflon coated. Yeah. Asangoham, punah. There is no seer without me. But when any experience of a seeing, etc., goes away, and all the three, seer, sight, everything goes away, and now become hearer, there is no trace of a seer. There is no trace of a seer in you. Yeah. You assume a role of now a hearer. So consciousness you is, well, totally unconnected to everything, even though you are present invariably in and through, all over the various forms of ahankara, etc., vikar, etc. So Gnya Sarupa Avishesha. Avishesha means Samanyam, common. That's a Gnya is a common in all. So you are Gnya Swarupa. You are not Antaprajna, Bahishprajna, etc. All these adjectives are variables. Itaretara Vibhicharat, whereas this Vakerhood, Dreamerhood, etc. are mutually exclusive, subject to arrival and departure. So if Vakerhood is my real nature, then I would be Vaker all the time, but that's not happened. If dreamer is, well, the Atma is a dreamer by nature, well, Sarupa, then I will be a dreamer all the time. But it doesn't happen that way. Or I will be a sleeper all the time, if that is my nature. No. Itaretara Vibhicharat. And Bhashakara gives a favorite example. Rajvado iva sarpadhara adi vikalpita bhedavat. So like the superimposed snake, dhara means that streak of water. So which are all superimposed upon the rope, and they are variable, but vikalpita bhedavat, mithya bhedavat. Vikalpita means mithya bhedavat. They are the bheda between this snake and this dhara, streak of water or garland or what, they're really not. What is there is a content is just one non-dual rope. So itaritara vibhicharat asatvam gamyate, we have to know their absence. Rajvado iva sarpadharadi vikalpita bhedavat itaretara vibhicharat antapragnyatvadinam asatvam gamyate. We have to connect it again like that. So, and then full stop. Sarvatra vibhicharat gnaswarupasya satyatvam. Whereas what is inherent in all the three, Vaker, Dreamer, etc., is this Gnya, right? Bahishprajna, Antaprajna, Ganaprajna. Gnya is the one which is invariable. That is consciousness, which is pure consciousness, which is inherently, invariably it is there, without which this either of the three is not possible. And therefore that is Satyam. Sarvatra avyabhicharat. Avyabhicharat means invariable, inherent. Gnaswarupasya satyatvam. Then consciousness is the reality. Sushupte vyabhicharati iti chet na sushuptasya anubhuyamanatvat nahi vignatuhu vignatehe viparilopo vidyate iti shrutehe. So in fact, already it has been connected, said everything, but this Purapakshi, he make a statement here, and this is very common. In a deep sleep state, there is no self-awareness, and there is no awareness of the world, and therefore you are not consciousness, awareness in deep sleep state. You are jadam. That's a common question. That is, so Bhashakara raised that question. Sushupte vyabhicharati. You say avyabhicharat. So the Gnaswarupa is avyabhichara. Consciousness is inherently there in all the three states. No. There is no self-consciousness in a deep sleep state. You are not conscious of yourself. And at the same time, you are not conscious of the world. Therefore, you say you are there, but you will be not conscious of anything, and therefore you are jadam. In a sushupti, you are jadam. So sushupte vyabhicharati. What you say, will not be applicable in a sushupti. Bhashyakara so says, na iti chet. If you ask this question, na sushuptasya anubhuyamanatvat. So basically, sushupti also is a state of experience. During sleep, you do not know yourself and or do not know anything, but that's also your experience. So, na atmanam, na paramshaiva, na satyam, nabicha na anrutam, prajna kinchana samvetti, turyas tat Turyastat sarva druk sada. It's coming actually. It's a 12th karika, which is talking about this deep sleep state. It says, na atmanam janati, na param janati, right? Na atmanam. You don't know yourself also. You don't know any other thing also of the world. In Sushupti, neither the subject nor the object is known. Means consciousness is absent. If that's how this doesn't know itself, and this doesn't know the world. It doesn't know me. It doesn't know itself. Therefore, it is jadam. No consciousness here. Well, so same thing happens in a deep sleep state. Therefore, don't say that it is invariably present in all the three states. No, 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 no. So Bhashyakara says, no, no, Sushuptasya Anubhuyamanatvat. Sushupti experience is there. Nobody can question, right? And if experience is there without consciousness, where is experience? Please let us know. Without consciousness, where is experience? So, definitely, if there is no Sushupti experience, you cannot talk about Sushupti, but you talk about it. And therefore, of course, when you wake up, you talk about it, but you talk about deep sleep state. And that is your experience, that you did not experience anything, you slept happily, etc. Whatever you say about Sushupti, that's your experience. And no experience is possible without consciousness. And it's your state of experience. You said, I went to sleep and I woke up. Means I was very much present. Who had an experience of blankness and joy, etc. Well, that I must be nature of what? Consciousness, without which how will you have an experience of blankness? In fact, you don't experience anything particular also is your experience. That I don't experience any particular thing in a deep sleep state is also your experience. And no experience is possible without consciousness. And you say, I slept. I was very much present. I slept. Means I was very much present. And you know that there is no new I also has come. You only went at night 9 o'clock to the bed. You only woke up. I slept. So I is nature of the nature of consciousness, which is equally present in a deep sleep state. Otherwise you cannot talk about it. And so it's your anubhava. Sushuptasya anubhuyamanatvat, right? And of course, you recollect it. That experience, you recollect it in a waking state. That's fine. But any recollection is possible preceded by experience. Yeah. If you recollect something, means you must have an experience. From the experience itself, you have collected. What is collected out of experience is called the impressions. And that you are right now recollecting. You are trying to bring it to the surface. Anyway, so this is so your anubhava is there first. Then there is arthapatti pramana also. Yukti, Shruti, Yukti and Anubhava. Anubhava we said first. Now Yukti. Yukti, in that there is either Anumana or Arthapatti. And here we can employ Arthapatti. What Arthapatti? Well, one cannot talk about Sushupti if Sushupti would not have been experience of us. But we talk about it. Therefore, well, definitely, I, the consciousness, must be there. So that is how Arthapatti, right? You remember Arthapatti example? So that Devadatta was, eating in the night, and Devadatta during day he was fasting, and yet he was putting on the weight. If you fast whole day, it's not intermittent. It's a whole day fast, and night of course you sleep. Therefore it is 24 hours fast. My God, then you will lose weight. Minimum. If one does, I'm telling you, if one does fast such kind of a fasting, they employ, the people who have for diet plans, they give this kind of fasting. If somebody is not reducing his or her weight, they say don't worry, give up the diet, and we will tell you you have to drink water and this and that, something like that, with a certain salt and something. Bas, that's it. 15 days, and the fellow reduces like anything. But this our Devadatta was Pinaha, was therefore if he is fasting, then he would definitely lose weight. But he is on the contrary is gaining weight. Therefore, if Devadatta is gaining weight, he must be eating in the night. He must be getting up quietly and opening the refrigerator and eat away all the chocolates. Okay? And therefore he must be like that. So if Devdatta would not be eating in the night, he would not gain weight. But he gained weight. Therefore, he must be eating in night. This is called arthapatti, anyatha anupapatti. Otherwise, this is not possible. If he doesn't eat night, he would not gain weight. But he has gained weight. Therefore, he must be eating in the night. Could you follow? This arthapatti is called yukti. So, anubhava, yukti, and then Shruti statement. Bhashyakara quotes, Nahi vijñātuhu vijñātehe viparilopo vidyate avinashitvat. So, vijñātuhu vijñātehe. Vijñātu means this knower. When the vijñātihi, vijñāti means consciousness. The consciousness of the knower, well, viparilopaha na vidyate, will never end. The consciousness of the knower will never end at any time. Viparilopaha means nashaha, will not be destroyed. Consciousness of the experiencer, well, never ceases to exist. It is all the time there. And therefore it is in deep sleep state, it is in maranavastha, it's in pralayavastha, it is all the time there. That is the only thing which exists, and everything exists on account of that. And therefore, because it comes and goes, anything comes and goes is not self-existent. And therefore they must be borrowing existence from something. And that thing should be self-existent. So simple to understand. Right? And therefore, so basically, I am self-existing. What is self-existing is self-revealing also. And therefore, ultimately, what is not self-existent is not self-revealing also. It is revealed by a conscious being. Through pramana, without pramana, directly as a witness. So even when everything is resolved, consciousness continues to exist. But not available for transaction, naturally. Because to transact, it has to have a one cloth, and that cloth is called mind. That's it. I basically, with the mind, will experience the world. I, with the mind, will experience the dream world. So you need a certain costume. That's all the ahankara is. Ahankara is simply a costume of Atma. But ahankara is looming very large for us because we don't know the reality that I am consciousness. So basically, not available for transaction. That's true. Because the mind resolves, and therefore you basically as ahankara you are available for transaction with the world, either physical world, dream world, etc. That's not there in deep sleep state naturally. Because mind has resolved, the medium has resolved. But it's not absence of consciousness. Medium resolves, what can we do? Electricity cannot go away. Medium, suppose, doesn't work, the bulb, etc. It doesn't mean electricity has gone. No. You put a new bulb. Well, again, it will manifest. It's right there. It cannot go also anywhere. It's all pervading. Where will it go? So thought arises, that's how we say, it's exactly like a pot space. Ahankara is exactly like a pot space. Before you create a pot, the space is right there. Before you create a pot, the space is there on the wheel. Yeah. All pervading space cannot be absent on the wheel. It's right there. But as the pot is created, well, we say now there is a pot space different from the all pervading space outside. It's not correct. So anyway, so basically it's just one space, indivisible space, also present in the walls of the pot. That's how if you knock on the pot, it will give it. That's how we have gattam also. Basically. So anyway, my point is, same way the ahankara is like this. As the mind, is awake, well, you say, I am ahankara, small, jiva, individual, and Ishvara, etc., or the world is different from me. No, all that is, there is just one consciousness, all pervading, which is right there. As the mind emerges from that, we'll have a available for, that Atma is available for transaction as a waker, dreamer, etc. In a deep sleeper, it is not. So therefore, in deep sleep state, consciousness has gone away. That will never happen. So nahi vignatuh vignatehe viparilopo vidyate avinashitvat, because it is avinashi. Okay, we'll see further later. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.